Did y'all see Watch What Happens Live last night after the episode of Married to Medicine? I mean, that was interesting. That was interesting. Sky Squad, we are back in the building. Shout out to all of you guys for your patience. We got a couple of things to talk about today. Why is the Jeopardy theme music in my head right now? Do 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 do. Um, we back in the building, y'all. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys survived the winter blizzard of 2026. Um, we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine. We're going to be talking about Real Housewives of National Lampoon's Vacation. And of course, we're going to be talking about the things that happened on the Watch What Happens Live last night. So lately, I've been making it a habit to watch, all three things. You got to watch Potomac, you got to watch Married to Medicine, and then you also got to Watch What Happens Live. So they did what they did last week, and they had a Potomac lady, and then they had a Married to Medicine lady. Last week, as you know, it was Giselle and Miss Quad. She got it. Well, this week it was Stacey and Dr. Heavenly. So a little bit of tidbits, right? Andy did ask about what Stacey thought about Quad checking Giselle. Basically, Stacey said, yeah, and she is been proven to be a liar because y'all know those receipts came out, and it was basically also Giselle that said the Atlanta is rinsing and repeating or something to that degree. So we have that bit of intel, that bit of acknowledgement of what has been transpiring in the press, and Andy following up on it. Dr. Heavenly had her own comments. She said that basically it was dangerous. Um, I was like, they are coming for Giselle. Now, Stacey then reveals who was in the hot seat the most at the reunion. And interestingly enough, she said that Jazzy was in the hot seat. I was like, this is fascinating that Jazzy was in the hot seat the most, but right. Stacey had Andy gagged last night because Andy was like, Jazzy? Pretty much. And, Andy felt like it was Wendy that was in the hot seat the most. Stacey was basically like, but you asked me the question. Ooh. Andy couldn't do nothing but laugh because, the way Stacey responds to stuff, she is just so unseriously funny to me. But we'll see. Maybe she thought that the question was about who had the most or who was in the hot seat the most, maybe with her in the reunion. And after this week's episode, I can certainly see why. Now, let's also get into what she said about Karen and Wendy. She tells us, i.e., me and you, i.e., Andy and the Bravo Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse people and camera crew, that Karen had the most smoke for Wendy, and that she also says that it was brutal. So if you thought Karen was coming back to the franchise and you thought she wasn't going to have that same fire, and Wendy's her friend. So if she's saying that it was brutal with regards to what Karen had to say about Wendy and Wendy being her friend, which she does feel like Wendy and her are really good friends. She says that they've since spoken after last night's episode, that they are in a good place, that she does feel like her friend can be honest with her. So if she is saying this about, her friend, I'm just like, So I remember last season, at the end of last season, Karen and Wendy have been tight. Stacey revealed that Karen told her something to the degree about Wendy being all about herself. And I'm paraphrasing here. So Wendy confronts Karen, but I feel like we don't really see much of the discourse, or we don't really see that much about the two of them really, really hashing it out, like really, really hashing it out. So, and then after this, after the season, everything happened with Karen. And so we really didn't get a follow up on that. It's just that the follow up that we did get was Karen sitting in a sort of mini confessional in her home and thanking all of the other ladies for their support except for Dr. Wendy. So that's the remnants of what we've been dealing with Karen and Wendy. Now, I don't know if there is more to this story, but my assumption is that there is a ton more that we don't know that will either likely be said at this reunion or at least get touched on briefly. But for Stacey to say that it was brutal, considering what Stacey has been through this season with the rest of the ladies, then I am fascinated by what actually went down. I am fascinated. Yeah, it was something to that degree, right? Yes, something like that, right? So, where did this come from? Did Karen really say it? Stacey said that she did. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that someone has called Wendy self-absorbed. I think that Kay has had some similar issues with Wendy. And I think when we first started this season, we asked the question, were Kiana's issues a trickle down from Karen's own issues? Because we know that Kay had gotten super close to Karen because Karen was the person who really checked on her after the bottle popping incident with Deborah, who is Ashley's friend. So if indeed there was some trickle down, did Karen potentially tell Kay something about Wendy or affirm Kay's feelings about Wendy, and Kay, perhaps maybe being loyal to Karen, did not want to ever say, oh, Karen told me these things. Maybe she wanted to keep it hush. I am literally just trying to figure out what exactly happened. To me, this could be potentially a thing. We don't really know. We don't really know. So, we'll have to wait and see when when that reunion airs. I am in agreement with you. I think that this reunion is going to be lit. Potomac always seems to deliver some type of wild reunion. I don't feel like we're ever really disappointed by their reunions. So there's that. She also stated that Kiana has the most growing to do after this reunion, and she says that Kiana needs to get her priorities straight. I don't know whether or not that's going to be any relation to what is going on or not going on with Kiana and Greg as per the credits in this week's episode, but we'll now touch on the episode in general because, well, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this week's episode of Potomac. And I'm interested to see what you guys think about. Here's the thing. In order to be on some of these reality TV shows, you have to be a little bit self-absorbed. I would also wager to say that there are a lot of creatives that you probably know in your own life, or maybe you're a creative, and you probably got to admit to yourself that you might be self-absorbed as well. I mean, uh, because sometimes you live in your own little world. But I do think that there's a difference between being maybe self-centered is a better term. Self-absorbed, I think, could be also used a little bit differently than self-centered and then selfish. So they could be three different, right? They could be three different terms. And I know I'm going deep and it sounds like semantics to some people, but I think that if you look at the nuances of being self-centered, self-absorbed, and selfish, those are three different things. And I'm curious to know what you guys think would describe each one of those ladies on the show. Just a thought. All right, so let's get into the episode itself. This was season 10, episode 16, Driving on Empty. It says, as the Colorado trip comes to an end, the ladies are racing against the clock to make it to their final excursion, but things don't go as planned after Angel takes a wrong turn. This episode was oddly disjointed for me, and I cannot ascertain whether or not I like it or not. You know, Salt Lake City has done some similar types of things where an entire episode was a party or an event or a sprinter ride or something to that degree, or it has felt like that. This episode to me, there's some good and there's some bad in it. And I'm going to tell you what I think. The good part about it is when you take this is great TV. The idea of this is great TV. You take a group of women who are or people who are, kind of uh, on the upper echelons, and then you put them in a situation in which they are all uncomfortable because it creates an element of tension, and it could be comedy, right? It could be comedy. So there is the saving grace for this episode was the clock ticking down. That and I don't know if I feel like that was a crutch or if it was a stroke of genius or if it just I think it made the episode work in a way that it would not have otherwise. Because I think what the clock racing down was supposed to create an element of tension, as in, how are they going to do all of these things in 5 hours? That's really what it boils down to. But it didn't quite land for me because when you look at the map, if the map I think and the fact that I got to say all this is probably what lets me know that there's a problem. If I gotta say, you need to add the timestamps on the map for which there's, I mean, the location distance in terms of time on the map, then equate that to the time as it's clicking, as it's going, as the clock is clicking down. Then you gotta also understand that at 2 p.m., everybody has to be headed back to the airport specifically. How were they gonna get there at 1:30 and go for a leisurely fly fishing escapade while also participating in this catered lunch in the back of the woods? Who dropped the pen to Angel? And girl, why are we not using, the GPS? Why are we, and maybe this is me and my non-mountain man ways at this point, but I've is dropping a pin the only way that you can get the location of this lake? Is it, it's so exclusive that it don't show up on GPS on Waze? Not even the MapQuest? I mean, and if you are in fact used to using pins for locations, I guess I don't understand how you don't know where this place is. If I want to go and show the people some things, I personally am only going to take them to places that I absolutely know. Okay, so we're going to go to Kimusabi. We know that place. We frequent there, and we're going to go to this particular lake to go fly fishing. I know where it is. We go there all the time. We This is what we do. But not to go to listen, and the staff. Oh my God, the staff are at the lake. They made it there. Somehow they were able to find it, but you can't find it. And I'm not trying to come down on Angel. I am asking the general questions that I do feel like something needs to be happening such that you're going to places that you actually know. And again, I looked at this is reminding me of like a National Lampoon's Vacation. For those of you guys, I'm probably aging myself, but I don't care. Y'all know. 99% of y'all, if I'm talking to you in this chat, we might be around the same age or a little bit older, a little bit younger, just by a hair or two or three or four or five or six or seven, eight or nine, 10. But y'all know National Lampoon's Vacation. They should have just done the brunch. Okay. And the fact of the matter is that it is Angel who has thrown this together, who has fought for this trip, who has had to rally the girls and say, no, trust me with this trip. You are the one who is driving in the complete opposite direction. Oh, girl, no. It would be one thing if the other girls had gotten lost. They not getting lost. Their drivers are taking them in the right direction. You are driving in the complete opposite direction. This is, I mean, I just don't get it. I really, really just don't get it. At the very minimum, why are you driving in the complete opposite direction? It would be a difference if we dropped the pin for somebody. And okay, I don't really understand the drop the pin of it all per se. I mean, I do and I don't. I get that the pin is here and you got to go and you're gonna reach destination X by going here on the pin. Even if you can't see where the pin is, I would imagine that you can maybe open up the map and see the pin and see what area it is and at least be able to tell the general direction of the pin. Girl, like as much as I do feel like, I don't like I like Angel. I gotta readily admit that. I like her. I think that she is a well-intentioned, sweet girl. I mean, woman. Let me say woman because I don't want to call. I'm just using excuse my phrasing, but I just don't exactly. And this is me, and I gotta let y'all know this. I'm gonna be 100% faux real. I am the person that gets to the airport at least 2.5 to 3 hours early, especially if I'm going on an international flight. But at least 2 hours early. Shamar, I am the same. I am paranoid about missing flights. I'm always trying to be 2 hours early for boarding. No way I am doing more than a drive through on the way to the airport. That is me. And if you know where this, let's say let me give you an example. For those of you guys who have been to Denver, you know this. The airport is not in the city, okay? It is not in the city. It is a bit out from the city. That's number one. So if you know that the airport in Denver is a bit out a ways, I am not understanding why we would actually want to have them do a fly fishing escapade, and we're not fly fishing at 6 a.m. You would, in order for this to work, you would have to be fly fishing at 6 a.m. Based on the location, geographically speaking, based on traffic, because all of these things you have got to account for. If and this is how I know she knows. You knew enough to know that you needed to get yourself home that night. You knew enough to know that. So if you knew enough to know that you needed to go home and not come party with these girls at their hotel, then personally speaking, I'm not quite sure why you didn't really know. And again, I think she had good intentions, but I think that that was also just a bit too much. It was too much to try to do on a day when people have to leave to take their flights back. It would have behooved her to, at that point, at least co um, join in with Giselle, take the girls back. Y'all spend the night there. Take the girls back to your house. At the end of the day, if you knew that you wasn't going to come back, cool. Bring everybody back and their bags for lunch at the Four Seasons, and that way you guys can do something together before everybody leaves and nobody feels rushed. That to me would have been the better thing to do because we've already taken them on a private jet to to Aspen. So we've done a lot. I mean, we did a lot that day. Or you could have had somebody, you could have had somebody go back to your house and grab the bags. Now I know that's giving real fair Franklin and Destiny's Child. Well, somebody can go get your luggage. Okay. So I just feel like this was completely avoidable, and I don't understand why basic time management didn't come into play here. I really don't. And then it does make you feel like we've just been in Colorado for several days. For us, it feels like several weeks because it has been several weeks. So we've had to live through this cluster F of a trip. And now it's like you can't even end the trip on a positive note and say you redeemed yourself. And she could have redeemed herself with the Aspen and the private jet of it all. And then also kind of being able to pivot. Let me say this. This is super important. I learned this quite a bit doing my own group trips is that there will be things that come up, obviously. And a lot of times you will want to do a whole lot, also, obviously, because you want to make the most of the time. But there also comes a point where you also have to think, does this actually make sense now that we're here? It doesn't make sense. So everybody, we're gonna have to do a little bit of a turn real quick, and we're gonna have to make a right instead of going left like we had planned. Now, I do apologize, and I hope this isn't too much of an inconvenience. But yes, we will just have some brunch at the hotel. And Giselle, you will pay for all of it since you have deemed yourself the captain of the ship. You pay for it with your credit card and your connections. And so I will happily come and eat here with you and the girls for your dog. Cheers to the girls' weekend. We are eating at the Four Seasons based on your bank account. Cheers to you and production. How about that? That, Angel, is what you probably should have done. At a certain point in time, I get it. She probably said, I got to redeem myself. I've got to get this done. The people are already headed out to the fly fishing thing. I would have been like, girl, y'all eat that food and you eat your own food at the fly fishing place. Can you imagine that? That is also crazy. How many camera crews do you have to set up for this trip? You've got the camera crew at at the um at the location. The production crew is at the fly fishing place. I want y'all to understand the logistics of this. There's a production crew at the fly fishing place. There is, I don't know, the ladies are filming in the car. So it's either cell phone footage and or cameras that have been set up in the cars, clearly, as you can see with Wendy's car, and I think Monique and possibly and Giselle and Ashley's car. But it looked almost like the car for Angel had like a cell phone footage. I can't be clear. I can't be sure. So you got all these things going on. Most of this episode is three different cars. Okay, it was three different cars. So let's get into what happened to the cars. All right. In the one car is Giselle, Ashley, and Monique. This is kind of like the OG car, at least I would say circa seasons 1 through 5. They're all talking, yakking it up. We learn about Giselle and her mama. there is a discussion between Ashley and Monique, and actually Giselle too. But Ashley reveals that Wendy's theory about who told Chris Samuels about the conversation that Monique had when she first came back to the group about her marriage ending. Ashley says that Wendy feels as though it was Angel who went back and told her husband, who then called up Chris Samuels to spill the gossip and the tea. This scenario seems highly unlikely. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Say it again for the people in the back, in the background. I'm not mad at some gas station food. I ain't too proud to beg. Listen, I am not too. I am bougie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I prefer a first class flight. I prefer to be chauffeured to some place. Actually, I told you guys I am very much in the soft hands era of it all, circa Maurice, Scott, and I want my hands to stay soft and and I just want to say stay dark and lovely and just be chill and relaxed. So, but on the other hand, there is a country boy that resides deep within my spirit. And so I will go down. I will go down to the gas station, get me some crackling. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Stay on over there with your judgmental self, your judgy eyes. I don't want to hear it. I will definitely get me a good old slice of gas station pizza if I need to. I'd love a taco food truck. Give me some pizza from Sbarro. I'll take it all. I'm just saying that's just what it is. What it is though. So yeah, I just I just don't see Bobby, Bobby. I don't see Bobby picking up the phone and calling Chris Samuels and being like, yeah, so your ex, she came back to the show that I ain't even really trying to be a part of all that much, but my wife doing her thing and she's making a little coin over there. So I let her do it, but then, she came back and she told me that your wife, and we used to rock with y'all. She came back and she was talking all that yada yada messed about you and whatnot. So I just want you to know, homie, and don't tell nobody I told you. I just don't see him doing it. My God. I just learned about Buc-ee's. My God, today. So I don't necessarily know if I follow Wendy and her Sherlock Holmes super sleuthing on this one. I just don't see it. It do. I just don't see it. He barely, you know what, on camera, right? He barely be talking on camera. So it's kind of like I just don't see that happening. Ashley also reveals, because she's got so much to say, that she asked Chris point blank, "Yo, are you banging with Stacey?" And he just, sipped his water bottle. I don't really have the answers to what the situation is with Stacey and Chris. It really honestly seems to me like really much of a nothing burger. If Chris and Stacey were not together with anybody else, if this happened when she was not with Timo, in between TJ and Timo, I don't know. And she doesn't want to spill her tea about who she's had relations with, and he doesn't either. To be quite honest with you, I don't mind that. Adults do not have to disclose who they are banging on the side when it's nobody else's business but their own. Ashley, I think, is living sometimes a little bit in the reality TV world of it all, in which the overshare sometimes is the thing that, people sink their teeth into, i.e., her and Jackson. But I don't think everybody wants to live by that code. And as adults, they don't really have to. So they don't have to disclose to you, who is a third party, whether they did or they did not, especially when the party that could be, or maybe potentially might be the most interested, Monique, seems very uninterested in really whether or not they did. I think it sounds like for Monique, it's just, is Stacey telling me the truth about whether or not they were, did she go back and tell this man this information? Likely it could have been her. But if Stacey is adamant that she didn't, it's hard to prove it. And Chris isn't going to tell the people he didn't tell Sharice. So at the end of the day, this is kind of a nothing burger. And we kind of just have to move on from it because it really didn't go anywhere then. And it certainly isn't going anywhere now. The only thing that will actually prove whether or not, Stacey is a liar or not is Stacey tripping her own self up in a lie that probably involves her or one of the other ladies in the group, which we will talk about in just a second. So there's that. Now let's get to car number 2, which is the Stacey, Jazzy, and Wendy car. This car is very interesting, and this car is lit. Okay. This car is super lit. For whatever reason, Stacey has a wild hair. And I don't think we've seen this side of Stacey before. But I was fascinated by the way she confronted Jazzy because Stacey is like an onion. And I think that you just continue to peel back these layers and you see a different side of herself, of her. A- And I'm enjoying the ride, but it's always like, do I believe her? But it honestly, I also enjoy her. So I don't know. And I was having this conversation offline, and I think it is that because the other cast members have clamored so hard to prove that Stacey's a liar, it positions her as an underdog. And we, the audience, root for an underdog, especially one that is composed and funny. All right. And she was definitely composed. But let me tell you this. She confronts Jazzy because Jazzy, upon meeting Sharice, gave Sharice her number. Now, I want you to understand, Jazzy was reintroduced to the circle on the show this season as Stacey's friend. As such, I think that Stacey has this feeling that you should be loyal to me, girl, because I am your entryway back into this group. You're dangling, and I am the key to your success here. So you need to have my back. Now remember, Sharice had called Stacey a trick. Okay. So Stacey feels like, no, 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 I don't rock with that lady. And she must have told Jazzy, I don't rock with that lady. So when Jazzy gives her number to Sharice, aka that lady, then there's a problem. What do I think of that? Jazzy did not get introduced to this group formally by Stacey. Jazzy came into this group formally via Mia. So I want to go back to that. Mia is the reason why Jazzy and Stacey became so close because they were both invited down to Miami. Something happens with Mia, and then they sort of bond during that period of time. That is what I remember. So if this were Mia questioning Jazzy, I would I would understand it a bit more because then you can say, well, girl, I'm your introduction to this group. And as such, I would expect a little bit more loyalty if you know that I'm actively beefing with someone. That to me would make a bit more sense. But as it stands, Jazzy is kind of one of those people on the show who can float in and out, and we could have technically called her anybody's friend at this point. The idea is production likes her. They probably were testing to see if she would make it as a housewife, and they decided to go with some other people, but they still keep the friends in the periphery because at the end of the day, on paper, Jazzy would make a great housewife. She would. So I think it's a little preposterous for Stacey to expect blind allegiance to only her because you don't know. I mean, because she accepted the invite to exchange phone numbers with Sharice may not make them best of buddies. So I don't get it in that regard. Y'all aren't best friends, y'all are friends. And to be quite honest with you, I don't believe that Stacey was actually going to go to the wedding until it was probably mentioned that everybody else was going to go. So when Jazzy then brings that up, because Jazzy's like, well, hold on. Well, actually, it's Wendy who says, well, contraire, mon frere, if you expect blind loyalty to people in this group, then you are going to have to show yourself as being loyal as well, but loyal and truthful. Now, Wendy is getting super upset because Wendy has been also holding Stacey's feet to the fire with regards to her sometimes her inconsistencies. But the way that Stacey shows up is very consistent. I want you to understand what I'm saying by that. Stacey is consistent. And you know that about her. So, as such, I didn't necessarily understand why Wendy was getting so upset because Stacey is consistent. You don't know whether or not you can ever really always believe her, but we enjoy watching her, and I think that that's just where it is. We love it. We absolutely love it. She's funny. She's bringing comedy to the show, and we appreciate that from her. But I mean, do you, Wendy, always believe everything that she says? Now, if Wendy did feel like, okay, yes, girl, I told you that you were going to look crazy if you did not go to this wedding. I don't mind Wendy saying it. I don't mind Wendy stepping up and being the truth person in this situation. But I do think that people are going to be looking at Wendy as going extra hard because they're also looking at Wendy as like, girl, well, right now your reputation is on the line. That is how people are going to view Wendy, right? I mean, it just is what it is. So I think that there was some frustration there, but it seemed a bit amped up to me. It seemed more than was necessary at the moment, but I can't really say what the energy was in the car. Again, this episode was disjointed to me, and so I I was just trying to follow along as best as possible, and the clock is ticking down, and I'm stressed, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So Jazzy is also now upset because she feels like she has stood also beside Stacey, but also is starting to realize that Stacey might not have been actually willing to come to her wedding unless she knew it was going to be filmed, unless she knew that it was going to be a thing. And for Stacey to say that she did not know that Ashley was going when we saw the flashback that Ashley did tell her that she was going, those things are things that make Stacey look like she's not always the most truthful, but it doesn't always matter because we are so used to and maybe unaccustomed. Well, we've gotten almost desensitized to the ladies going in on Stacey about something. If it's not Stacey, it's Angel. Like, but nobody else is fighting amongst themselves. That becomes a bit of a turnoff. So we're almost like, well, doesn't matter that Stacey was not going to come to the wedding. She came to the wedding. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is who Stacey is. Either you like it or you don't. So In between all of that, Angel is somewhere driving off of Angel is driving in the backwoods. We don't know where Angel, Tia, and Key and Kay are going for much of this episode. All we do know is that they are not going in the right direction. So the other two cars converge after the whole drama in the Wendy. I think it was the Curly Girl clique or something like the Curly Girl crew, something to that degree that they were calling themselves because they all were staying together. Wendy, Jazzy, and Stacey were staying together on that first cast trip to Nevis. So when they converge at a gas station. And this is where they have the gas station foods and things and such like that. Angel calls, or they call Angel, and Angel is like, "Oh, guys, I've been beating up on myself and just driving on a road to nowhere. So the experience is still there for you guys." And I'm like, uh experience. You talking about the flight? The flight is still there for me because that's all I'm going to at this point. It is like literally, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, um, none of this made sense. I don't even understand how they're in the cars thinking that any of this is going to make sense. I would have been hyperventilating because I know my flight is leaving in zero point 0.5 hours and we're on a road trying to make it to go fly fishing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, no, no. This is not something that we're doing, and I'm not going to participate. You guys just won't catch me on film. Also, the fact that they're all separated is also making this episode feel disjointed. And also the fact that this is the season finale, and I really wasn't aware that this was technically the season finale. Like this was it. Oh, ooh, this feels oddly unfinished. I don't like when a trip ends. I don't like when the trip is the end of the season. I like for y'all to come back from the trip. There's a big event. There's something that happens. We didn't get no footage of anything that was going on in the headlines with Dr. Wendy. They acknowledged it, but they threw it up on the screen. I just thought that this was, again, it felt totally disjointed. I felt like it was a rushed ending, and it was not my favorite episode. I would have appreciated it more if there had been certain other things that had happened, but this just felt like I was like, this is it? We did all this work all the way up to the end of the season, and this is what we get? I mean, thank God for the Karen situation. Thank God. If the Karen situation had not happened, where would we be? Where would we be? So I was a bit disappointed. I am looking forward to the Karen sit down next week because I did not know it was going to be like an hour long. That to me was the preview looks riveting. And Stacey says on Watch What Happens Live that it is very, very good. Very, very good. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the reunion. I am hoping we get a preview for the reunion sometime this week. If we usually get it on the Friday before the finale airs. So I would wager that next week, this one-on-one sit down is kind of like the finale, but it's really still the sit down. So it'll be 2 weeks before we get the reunion. So I just don't know. I know all that food with the waste, all of it. It just, I said, this is just not. I was hoping that we would see something to that degree, but they gave us nothing. They probably didn't. They probably did not plan this film, but listen, I think that they pieced it together in probably the most intriguing way possible because when you look at the way that this ended, you've gotta you've got to make some magic happen. And so I felt like they did what they could, but you know, that's a good question. I gotta wonder if this was really. I gotta feel like there was definitely some things that were cut. I mean, unless they're gonna weave that into the reunion. Oh, here's the thing. I already know. I had an internship in Colorado. I have family in Colorado Springs. I've been to Colorado. Colorado is beautiful. And I don't really think that you really got a sense of how majestic the mountains are, the landscape. We didn't get any of that. And I think that that was a complete and total disservice to what Colorado actually gives and what it looks like. Um, did you see Kenya's thoughts on the reunion looks? No. Where is that? Where is it at? I would imagine she probably did a live. Let me see on her Instagram. Uh, Saturday, January 24th at 12 p.m. A birthday YouTube live chat with Kenya. Okay, I'll have to go back and watch it. I looked at it's not on her Instagram. We didn't see the scene with Wendy crying to Ashley in that salt cave. Yeah, it was. I just feel like it was so much something like what happened? What happened? Kim Pyre did a video yesterday, so I just seen the part of her talking about Angel's dress. Okay. Kim Pyre, that's my boy right there. All right. Let's move on to Married to Medicine real quick. Oh, God. What I need to know from y'all is this before we get into Married to Medicine, and I need you to chime down in the chat. Did Simone put her hands on Dr. Heavenly? I wish you could too. Did you think that Dr. Simone put her paws on Dr. Heavenly? I need to know your thoughts in the chat. Much of this episode hinges on Dr. Simone's aggression or alleged aggression towards Dr. Heavenly. I see most of you guys feel like, no, she swatted her away. No, no, no. I think so. Yes, no, no, almost. She did, but it wasn't crazy. No. I'm going to answer this just like I answered the Tamar and Trina situation. Yes, Simone did. Simone only moved Dr. Heavenly's hand. Slightly, she moved her hand off of her. I'm intrigued by I want to see what your thoughts are first before we get into this. Because again, the episode hinges on this and this thought and this premise right here. I'm gonna tell you what I saw. Dr. Heavenly goes to put her arm around her to take a picture. I see Dr. Simone take her elbow and do that right there. Now, but again, that's what I saw. So, I mean, but was that aggressive? Was that I don't know. You guys have to answer that one for yourselves, I would think. All right, so this is the girls' trip -1. That's what the episode is called. It's season 12, episode 8. The ladies -1 travel to Miramar, Florida. And I'm like, why are their cast trips always in Florida? Like, I, I digress. Okay. I've had this conversation. I can't have it again. I won't have it again. I shan't. And if they don't care, if they like it, I love it. Fine. But let me state this. I gotta say it because it needs to be said. Lindria says, in the heat of the moment, it is viewed differently to the person that happened to it. Absolutely could have started a fight. They love Florida. Okay. Because I love this show, and because I know that these are doctors' wives, I've often heard the excuse that, well, because they work in the medical field, they can't travel that far away. That is not true. That is not true. No, Meredith. No. I don't think I mind the fact that they have been to Florida. It is that they keep going. That is my issue. Is there no place else for you to go? Heck, go to the Dominican Republic. Go there. Go to the Dominican. Go to the Aruba. Go to the St. Barts. I'm just saying that if you feel as though you don't want to go far, yes, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Take ourselves down to take them someplace else. You know, we watch these shows, and I gotta say this because it needs to be said. All right. We watch these shows because we want to see fabulous people doing sometimes doing a little bit of mess, a little bit of drama, but we also want to see fabulous destinations. If there's no fabulosity, then it feels pedestrian, you know? And I'm not calling the location in Miramar pedestrian. I'm simply saying the repeated use of these Florida destinations feels very, 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 very low budget. And maybe that is the case. Maybe the budget is low. But do you know what? Thank you, Bruce. Bruce says, I feel like the married to medicine budget is not as big as the housewives budget. That's what it seems like to me. And that may in fact be true. But do you know what we do when there's too much? There's someone on the cast is sucking up all the budget. Who might that be? At this point in time, if thank you. I don't know why people keep saying this. That is so not it is not true. Thank you, Orchid Benedict. Addict says being a doctor doesn't prevent you from traveling. My husband is one and we take trips to Europe. They can take time off like everybody else. They can close if self-employed or have another doc cover. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for stating this. I'm so like I keep seeing people say it. For years I've seen people say this. Every time I complain about it, and I'm like, y'all know that's not true. All right. So why is it that we always have to just go to Florida? Is there no place else within the continental United States that we could potentially go to? I mean, it doesn't listen. That's what I'm saying. That we see them all traveling off camera, and if there is someone there who is like, if I say that, okay, so there's this is the cast budget we have for this year. We've got to get back to giving you guys some fabulous things to do. If you're not contributing to this season in a way that's meaningful, then you got to go. You're taking up a spot, and now we could actually be going someplace fabulous, but you are not doing anything, and you're not pulling your weight. So I just kind of think that as much as I love and I understand that there is something that Dr. Jackie brings to the table, I just feel like she doesn't really contribute as much. And maybe we will see more of that during the end of the season, but I kind of see her as more of like the godmother role. You know what I'm saying? Like the person who kind of comes in and says, "Hey girls, let's bring all of this stuff back together. Let's kumbaya." And we can bring her in when we need her, but and I don't want to see her lose her job. That's not what I'm saying. But I just feel like I just I don't know what we're getting. I don't okay, you know what? This doggone Google phone, I'm not talking to you. Anyway, sorry about that. Norman can't get in because of the snow. So I don't know what the phone is doing on its own, but it has to go. So anyway, yeah, I hate to say it, but I have to be honest. She could be a friend of the show, and maybe we can get the budget to go to Paris or something. I mean, eh, eh, I don't. That's just me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to that. I'm sorry to Dr. Jackie. I'm not trying to put her out of business or nothing like that on the show. I just feel like this they're always going to the same locations down in Florida, and then they're gonna probably go back to Florida. I don't really know what's happening. I don't know. Okay, let me get off that. So anyway, they go there, but first, Simone has a conversation with Cecil about, yeah, Dr. Heavenly, I can't trust her. I was joking when I said I would look up Quad's VIN number. It was funny to me though, like I love Simone because I feel like Simone she can give you unhinged, and I don't think that that takes anything away from her professionalism, but I I also think that she she being real when she says that was just joking about looking this up. But if you did in fact look up Dr. Contessa's information, and in the argument with Quad, she said something to the degree of I look up real estate information. So if by those two pieces of evidence, if we will, that you looked up potentially, according to Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Contessa's information for their building, and it was the wrong information, and then you are indeed potentially um, admitting in the argument with Quad that you look up real estate information, there is something there that you are indeed looking up. Whether that's Quad's VIN number or whether that is something else associated with her and her finances, we know that the implication is that, per your statement to her, that she is living the way she's living in a lot of debt, that you are indeed, in some way, shape, or form, looking this information up. So I think that she should start there with a bit of like, hey, why am I looking up these people's information? Versus putting it all on Dr. Heavenly for spilling the tea. That is what these people on these shows do. They spill the tea. So you can't say you were just joking, and then you can't say in the same breath, and if I was doing it, so what? In your confessional, like, girl, just say, I did look it up. I wanted to know. And now she knows what I wanted to know. Like, don't blame that on everybody else. That's my problem. Now, the things that Dr. Heavenly said about Dr. Simone and Cecil, you could be mad about that. That should be what you should be mad about. But it should not be the fact that she went back and told Quad about the VIN number situation, given that if you said that you would do it and she told what you said that you would do, then she told Quad the truth. Is that not correct? So I don't like when people say something and then pin it on it being a joke when it's not a joke to the person that you said it about, and you're not really joking about it because you're actually doing it. That's the thing that frustrates me about this whole situation with Dr. Simone. And now you're upset with Quad because Quad wants to know the truth about whether or not you did look up the VIN number or not. I would have just simply said, well, I didn't look up your VIN number. But the reason I would have wanted to is because I want to know how you got that car. I think if Simone had said that versus raging on Quad for being confronted about something that you in fact said, if you did, and clearly you said it. So why not just at that point be like, yeah, girl, because I wanted to know how you got this car and where the car has been at before. Say that. Argue about that, but don't argue about I was joking or Dr. Heavenly shouldn't have told you that. Maybe she should not have, but then you shouldn't have said it about her friend that is also her campaign manager that you know she rides for, and everybody know that you don't have beef with. Everybody can try to play it off now like, oh, it was just a joke, but it could have been a joke, but given that you have the propensity to then go and look up the other people's information, it's kind of like, well, girl, you do. If you're saying you're the find outologist or something like that, and that then goes back to, well, why, if you have all of these things going on, you've got a lot of work to do, and you don't really feel like, doing all of these things for all of these people no more, then maybe the time is now for you to just focus on how you can cut back some things. And I guarantee you, looking up real estate information on your friends does not have to be one of those things that you continue to add to your repertoire. So now you can free up some time. So let's help you all. Let's help you in this one fell swoop, right? We didn't cut down maybe an hour off of your time. We didn't cut it down. We didn't cut down an hour out of your day. There you go. We are literally, I am literally saving you some time. Let's do it. And Katrina, I think, okay, that's fine too. That's fine. But given all of the information that is probably circulating and percolating about Quad's car or not, what at the end of the day does that have to do with you? And I would imagine, not you, but her, Simone. And I would also imagine, again, with plenty of information that probably floats around, how did you pick and choose this is the thing that now you're gonna plant your flag on, and then later be like, oh girl, I was just joking about it. No, Meredith, no. So I just think that if we were just being real about what the actual argument is about, I think that Simone would be able to free herself and unburden herself from some of this angst if she would have just simply say what really is the case. It wasn't a joke. It might have been a joke. You might not have done it, but the intent is, and the question is this: where did the car come from? I actually want to know. I do look up people's information, and maybe I shouldn't have admitted it in public. Maybe I shouldn't have, or maybe I should have just told Toya and not told Dr. Heavenly. Because I guarantee you, Toya probably would have kept it quiet. Or maybe just don't say it on camera. I don't know. I don't know. Again, okay, so this is what I'm saying. Just be real about it. Was it a joke? Angela says it was a joke. All three knew it was a joke. But if this is a valid concern, then was it a joke? Like, can we pick and choose what we're actually being serious about? I don't know. I'm just saying that shaving off some time of researching the people's real estate and the people VIN numbers, we could probably save an extra hour in your day, and we can free up some of your time so you can go and just pamper yourself. Get your nails done, Simone. Go get a pedicure. Get your hair done. Work it, baby. Work it. Pull that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's your leg. All that. You know what I'm saying? That way you can take a little time for yourself. Go get a bubble bath. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to take your phone. You ain't got to take your computer up in the bathtub with you. You ain't got to be on the MLS or whatever the case may be. I don't know what you're using. I don't know what search tools you're using, but free yourself. That's all I'm saying to you. I want you to free yourself from all of this burden, especially if you know that Dr. Heavenly is gonna tell it. So there we are. That's a lot of this episode hinges on this core thought right here. Now, given that Simone and and Quad can seemingly just get along, I'm like, okay, this is much ado about nothing. So The girls go on the trip. Dr. Heavenly is not coming to the trip, allegedly. We all know that's going to be different. Okay, we know she's coming. So she tells Daddy that she not gonna really go on the trip or nothing like that. So the rest of the ladies go, and then they got to go do a fight for your rooms. I am so with Brandy, and I am so with Angel, and I understand that there is a fun little drama to be had with let's play guess who gets the best room and guess who gets the worst room. But I am very much kind of tired of some of that. Like, I don't think we really need to do it. Like in the trailer for next week's episode, you will see Dr. Jackie, as somebody said, with the Tyler Perry tears. I respect Tyler Perry and his works. I do. I totally do. But I think I understand the metaphor that I saw somebody say. I saw somebody say this online. We don't need to do it. We don't have to do it, Jackie. I don't need the tears. I don't need the soliloquy. I don't need the monologue. I don't need the speech because it's not going to work. Okay. We don't need you to do it. We don't need you to say it. I just don't think we need it at this point. And it's just like the whole guess the room situation. These are, I don't know if you guys ever pay attention to this or you watch the difference, but I don't think we ever really see this on Beverly Hills. On Beverly Hills, there is never usually a fight for your supper. There is none of that. The ladies go to their room. They go get glam in their room. It is tired. It is beyond me why I would really honestly believe that these doctors and doctors' wives need to be running around and fighting for their spot on America's Next Top Model. It boggles my mind how this keeps happening, and I don't really get it. Lindria, I see your thing. I see. I'm coming down. I'm coming. I'll be coming around that mountain when I come. I don't see this, and so I'm very much with actually Angel and Brandy. Why on earth, as a whole doctor, medical professional, I have such a huge respect for people who work in medicine for very obvious reasons, but I just knowing what I know about people who work in the medical field, you give these people good rooms. You give these people the creme de la creme. Okay? You give these upper echelon professional women, you give them something good. And you minimize the people that have to share. And it's not unreasonable to think that some of these ladies will not want to share. So when Brandy and Angel are put together, I feel Angel was in the wrong. Angel, girl, here we go. Let's talk about it. This is the question that everybody's got, because I was thinking this entire episode. They do this thing where they draw sticks out. The person with the longest sticks gets a 15-minute head start so that they can run and fight for their food. So, of course, and Dr. Contessa gets her own private suite because this is her trip, which is duh, that makes sense. Angel and Brandy somehow end up in the same little room with these bunk beds. And it happens on every single this happens on every single like it always happens at Potomac. I'm just like, come on, y'all. Like, we come on, like, come on. Let's get a big enough house or get two houses. I don't care what we do, but this is not it. And I would not want to stay in those teeny tiny rooms. But when Angel and Brandy do get to the room, I felt like Brandy was trying to make the best of it. But Angel is very much like, girl, what is your energy giving? What's your energy giving? I need to know your energy. I got to be around good energy. It's good vibes only for me, and I will not tolerate anything less than this vibration. Either you're vibrating here, but if you're vibrating here, then I can't do it. Your vibrations need to match my vibrations, and if they're not matching my vibrations, then this is trash. You are trash, and everything that you do will be trash because I won't be able to stay here with you in this room because you're going to have to match my energy. And so, girl, I ask you all over again, like I asked you 15,000 times, girl, what is your energy giving? Brandy is like, girl, what? First of all, I don't know what my energy was, but I know what my energy is now. My energy now is you're annoying. I don't even know how I'm supposed to answer that question. And the fact that you have positioned this in 5,000 different ways lets me know now that I'm not going to answer it. You figure out my energy, girl, because I'm about to match yours. Because your energy right now is very stank. You think that you think that you're projecting high frequency vibes, but what you're actually presenting is gutter vibes. This is gutter. You have taken this whole experience and you have thrown us both in the gutter because you are in search for some energy that you don't actually have. You're reaching for something and your arms are actually too short right now. It's giving Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can't reach that high. Actually, I don't know that if I put you on a ladder, you would be able to reach as high as you claim that you're being right now. Tone it down, sis. So they get into it naturally. Now, Angel, I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting good vibes. I think you can say that, girl, let's just have good vibes. That's how you do it. Even if that person, you don't really feel them like that, you set the state. This is a sales tactic. Let me let y'all know that. Girl, you know what? Let's have some good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna make this thing we're gonna make it some magic. We're gonna make some magic pop here. I feel it already, girl. It's gonna be me and you, and we're gonna do this thing. They think that they putting us in this room together and it's gonna create some type of baby. We gonna light this thing up. Every night we're gonna be lighting some candles and singing kumbaya next to each other in the same bed. I don't know, something like that. You know, you create the magic that you want to engage in. You create the space and the energy that you want the other person to have. And I don't think that Brandy, while she may, I mean, listen, I just don't even, she don't even give me bad energy vibes per se. Yeah, she might want to stick up under, Toya and Dr. Simone. She was brought in by Dr. Simone. So, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that you guys can't make some chemistry of your own, especially if you're not going to just go out and get a hotel. Because I think that's what I would have done. I'm like, girl, I'm not staying here. Give me a hotel. Like, this is dumb. I'm not doing this. I'm too old and grown for this. I got a 6 to 7 bedroom house on my own. Like, no, absolutely not. I'll put my bags here for now and act like I am, but when the lights go down, we going to take me over to the St. Carl to the St. Regis. Take me over there. Had a car people take me over there because I'm not going to do this tonight, but I'm gonna pretend for y'all for these cameras like I am. But I'm gonna let you know tonight I am actually gonna skedaddle and I'm gonna toodaloo, bye bye, and you guys will catch me in the morning. How about that? But we don't say, girl, what's your status at the bank? What's your energy bank looking like? What's yours looking like? My energy was good at the beginning, but now, oh no, you have taken that energy all the way down with your shenanigans. So that happens. There is a little bit of discourse about Heavenly not showing up and, you know, it being revealed that Dr. Heavenly feels like Dr. Simone is unhinged, and all kinds as the girls head, they go to the pool. I might be going out of order, but so there's the explanation of Dr. Heavenly not coming. And interestingly, Quad has an interesting stance on Dr. Heavenly when Dr. Heavenly was not there, that I thought was, I think she was being honest about how she felt, but I was kind of shocked that she felt the way that she did, or that she stated it in that way. But listen, I can't fault her if that's how she feels. There's an interesting conversation the next day with Toya and Angel, because Angel feels like Toya blew up her spot with the guy that she was talking to, that she brought to I think it was the family reunion event or something like that. I think his name was Dr. Bernard, or is he a doctor? I don't know. Bernard, something like that. Angel feels like Toya ain't really her type of girl, because Toya obviously blew up her spot when she was with the man, because she was like, you was just trying to get me to hook you up with somebody. So Toya's excuse was that she felt that, well, I was about to hook you up with my family. So what if I had hooked you up with my family and he found out that you had been really dating somebody? I was like, Toya, no, Meredith, no. That sounds crazy and cockamamie to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Just from meeting somebody, you think that if this woman is single, she might not be out here dating, trying to get to know several different people. That's completely illogical, and your rationale makes zero sense. I think Angel is 100% in the right in this situation, because you don't really know her like that. And I don't even know that did she ever meet your cousin, your cousin-in-law, your friend, like who this family member was. I just feel like Toya was being messy, and I just think she should say it. Girl, I just thought you looked crazy, and so that's why I said it. I wanted to know. I would appreciate that so much more. But like backpedaling and Punani popping on the family member. Oh no, girl. Nobody buying that. Ain't nobody buying that. Okay. At the end of the day, the man might, your cousin-in-law, whoever, he might have been dating too. I always feel like when people are dating, you should probably assume that there's three people involved. There's usually one who's on the way in, there's usually one that's a mainstay, and there's one on the way out. So if you look at dating in that situation, then you will probably never be disappointed. Bloop, bloop. So after that confrontation, dun 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 dun, Dr. Heavenly arrives. She hops on in that thing, and she's, walking around strutting her stuff. Hey, y'all. And when they get to the house, back to the house, she strolls right on past Dr. Simone like she didn't even see her. Dr. Simone is like, so you're not going to even speak to me? I thought you was done with the woman. What you want her to speak for? I could have swore. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you. Y'all hit that like button. Sometimes what happens is we come into the room and we get to going, but y'all hit that like button. We appreciate that. Yeah, Simone, I thought you was done with Dr. Heavenly. So why would you, if you don't want her to, if you don't want her arm around you, get your stinking arm off me. Oh God. Oh. If you don't want her arm around you, if you are done with her, what do you want her to say to you? What Why would you want her to speak to you? Why are you even acknowledging her presence if you are done with this woman? If you don't want anything else to do with her, what should she say to you in this moment? Should she try to walk up to you and give you a hug? Should she say, "Hey, Simone," so you can ignore her? What should she do? You are done. You're done. You is done. She did you a favor. She didn't even speak to you. You ain't have to feel no type of way about her at the end of the day. Like, she here, okay, I see her. She see me. She know I'm here. So she better move around correctly. Okay, that could have been it. What you want her to speak to you for? To do what? To say what? Is you done or is you not? I feel like if you done, then it don't even matter that she there. But okay, so I get what you're saying, Angela. I get what you're saying. Yes, we all know that they gotta interact at some point, right? So we talking about in the reality TV show meantime, in between time. So let's look at it from that perspective, right? If you say in this moment that you're done with a cast member, I expect you to be done for like the next 3 episodes, right? Like that type of done. I would prefer you to stand it and say it and stand in it. At least for the what the like. I mean, it just sounds weird when you say in one scene in the episode, "I'm done with her. I'm so done. She is ooh she I am ooh we she is nothing to me." And then the moment she walks in the door, the moment she walks in the door, she didn't speak to me. She ain't say nothing. You're not gonna talk to me. You're not gonna say nothing to me. I mean, what? I don't pourquoi? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, at that point, I feel like you got what you asked for, right? You done with her? She ain't speak to you? All right, cool. Deuces. I don't see you either. We don't see each other. How about that? Our Dean. Oh, our Dean. Did you email me? If you email me, I'm gonna send you the mess. I'm gonna send you my email, and then I will email you. Stand by your man. Um, our Dean, send me an email just because I might have already been in contact with you, but send me a reminder email because I see a couple emails here from a couple of different people. So yeah, so shoot me an email today and I'll shoot you and I'll follow up with you. I'll send you a replay or I'll just get with you on the Zoom. Child of Persia, y'all, I just cried so hard seeing Karen reunite with Raven in the preview for next week's episode. Yeah, man. I'm that looks riveting to me. Oh, what happened with the TikToks? Lord have mercy. Well, you can migrate to fan base. Oh Lord. I don't know what's going on with the people. Okay. My bad. Let me get back to y'all. Lisa says she even called Heavenly Garbage. I'm gonna do the $1 Dubai trip, and I think I'm gonna do the one in June. If I can do either the first week or the second week or the third week, I think that's which one. The room game is so tired. Maybe she thought that Heavenly should be apologizing by saying she was aggressively attacking her because Simone said that could mess up her reputation. Well, I heard a lot of discourse about a this being a reputation messer upper in the episode. Uh, this isn't it, okay. So ooh, let's talk about this, the reality of this. Do I think that this notion of Dr. Simone uh, aggressively removing Dr. Heavenly's arm, was it aggressive? It was, or maybe it was just. I'm telling y'all, to me, it was like, get your stinking arm off me. But a lot of y'all feel like it was justified because don't touch me if we not cool. Cool. Is what Dr. Heavenly is saying is that that she felt like Simone was unhinged and that Simone was aggressive to her? Are those things reputation damaging? Are they any more reputation damaging than any of them screaming at each other, um, squaring up on each other, screaming about looking up VIN numbers and real estate info? Is like I just I kind of feel like it's all a little par for the course at this point. And I don't necessarily know that any of this after 12 seasons is stopping the influx of patients from coming in to see any one of them. I just I don't see it. Like after everything that has happened, after all of the tussling, verbal altercations, um cursing out, um it's just kind of crazy to me. Um, can I respond to something crazy, y'all, or do y'all want me to leave it alone? Should I leave it alone, or should I, or or should I let this person go about their miserable day? Y'all let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Y'all tell me what I should do. I see somebody that wants some attention. I see somebody that wants some attention. I see it. I see it. Should I ignore them or should I block them? Or should I unleash on them? Dr. Simone style. um, I'm just gonna block it. You know why I'm gonna block it? Because I'm blessed. But what I will say is, if you come to this channel and you're inquiring about why I am able to do what I am able to do on this particular channel with this particular audience, and how it is that you would even find yourself to this little corner of the internet, you should ask yourself why on earth you are watching something you don't like. Why are you wasting your time? Why would you even decide that you want to watch and then engage to help my algorithm out? So at the end of the day, I think that the person who actually has the issue might just be you. And at the end of the day, if you're so concerned about what's happening in the community, then maybe you should be out there creating the content that you want to see instead of over here criticizing from the crevices of your own life. And now you're blocked. Like, that's crazy. So anyway, mm, I love this. I hope you heal that part of you. Well, it wasn't, see, this is my thing. I'm cool with people having an opinion about what we're talking about, right? Um, I'm cool with people, like, we don't have to agree. Y'all can say I'm wrong about Simone. I'm wrong about Dr. Heavenly. You can say I'm wrong about Angel. That's the dialogue that I crave when we're talking about these things. That's the reason why I'm still here doing the work that I do, is because I enjoy conversations with y'all. That's why I'm here. But what I don't like is when you, at the end of the day, you come on here and then you say, like, just something super evil, and then like eh, eh, and it ain't contributing nothing positive. Then at the end of the day, I feel like you got to go. You got to go. You absolutely got to go. And you're just going to be blocked. Your comment's going to be removed. Nobody will even know that you existed over here. So, um, you know, be blessed. No, I mean, it's like no point. I mean, it's so many other things happening in the world. So we're gonna keep it as positive as possible over here. And we're gonna continue to have fun. Right. You can leave. So anyway, that's that. All right, where were we? Exactly. Like, I mean, it's just that. Like, and again, the comment was not even about any of this. That was what was crazy to me. The comment was not about what we were talking about at all, at all. And what was crazy was the comment was about me talking about the women on this show. That and what's crazy is that my comments are about anybody that's on the shows that we talk about. Love and Hip Hop, Married to Medicine, Potomac, Atlanta, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, you know, hi boo. I love this. I like bi-directional interactions that are fair and not tearing each other down. Thank you. Thank you. And I am loving your picture, by the way. Matthew Shears, how come when Toya talks crazy, there is excuses when Heavenly does it, it's a problem? Um, Within the group, I don't know. I don't know. That's what's crazy to me. It's like, and then too, even if you are new here, like nothing that I'm saying about these, I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about what they do. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like we're critiquing behavior that we see on a show, but you're not gonna hear me talk about like, oh, this person is evil. I don't like you. You're not gonna hear me say that. Like that's not something that we do over here. We talk about behaviors, actions, and the television show almost like this was our sports center. And if you can't realize that or you can't recognize that without trying to be also insulting to me, like no, you got to go. And hopefully you never return. But yeah, it's like we have a good time over here. Love and light. Yeah, I mean, I try to give my take on like anything that I see that I feel like, oh, I don't agree with that. I don't understand it. Even people I'm cool with. So, but the people I'm cool with know, like they understand what I do. They understand it. So, um, I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I read as many of your comments as I can. Do what Funky did to his channel, you'd have to have been a subscriber for a while in order to comment. Let me find out how to do that. Ooh. Bling, bling, bling. um, Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all too. I mean, it's par for the course. Um, I do understand that, given that I'm talking about somebody's favorite show, I could be talking about the behaviors of somebody's favorite character. That's still somebody's mom, aunt, sister, brother, cousin, relative. So some people may get a little bit offended by it. What is problematic for me is that you saw that you see the headline of you see the thumbnail, you see something that you don't really necessarily agree with or like. So it's like at that point, you have a choice. You're choosing to be here. If you choose to be here, then okay, contribute constructively. But again, I understand sometimes the internet is a place for people to kind of rage bait and try to get your attention and to try to distract you from the mission. And I actually am glad it happened because I think it offers an opportunity to share for those of you guys who want to, get into the space of, creating more content for your business, then that's something that you're going to have to deal with. It is what it is. As much as we wish that we could sort of rid ourselves of people who make those types of comments, then it's kind of like at the end of the day, you're going to have those types of comments and you can't let it affect your mentality. You can't let it affect. So hopefully we can utilize this as a teaching moment, um, just so we can understand like what we don't do, right? Because for the most part, I know that my channel, I'm talking to adults. I'm talking to people who can critically think, who can understand logic and understand what we do over here, and also formulate your own thoughts in a way that's constructive without being utterly disrespectful or anything like that. That's not the environment that I've been trying to curate. That's not the environment that we have curated together. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. That's why I just deleted the comment and blocked it. Um, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. With so much going on in the world today, can we just have a moment of light fun? It's just talk. We don't know these people. We just want to be entertained. That is it. This is the one. This is the one. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you. Yes, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I get it, man. I ain't been able to go to the gym either. Thank you. Thank you. Oh Lord, what's happening? Oh, it's icy outside too. Let me get to, I'm scrolling down, y'all. Hold on. Subscribers mode only. I mean, that would, I probably should. That would at least make, because sometimes we be, and I'm guilty of this too. I'll be thinking I'm subscribed to somebody and I'll just be watching their videos, but I'm not subscribed. So that would also be helpful. Um, Dana says, I appreciate you. I appreciate that you do not call these women names like other content creators, just enjoy and discuss. Yeah, I wouldn't, I can't do that because I also, I realize that like my mom watches my channel. Like my family members are watching my channel. People that I work with, like in news, they're watching, my channel as much as I, yeah, and just given that I used to work in news and I still do, I'm just cautious about how I speak in general, and that's just not me. So, um, Richard, your content is great. You're one of the best out here, bro. Thank you so much. Listen, the best among a lot of great content creators. Thank you. Not their eyelids. Some of us sponsoring our relatives' ability to roll with him, and we'll continue to do so. I appreciate that. I do. I'm at my desk trying to get through the day, and I appreciate your videos. It's always respectful and tastefully done, especially because I work in an office environment. Thank you, Miss Noel. I appreciate that. BJ, there was a comment that I asked you earlier if you saw that Ron from Traders was saying Dorinda said a lot of offensive things at the roundtable, but it was edited out. The interview is on page 6. I'll have to go check that out. I did not see. What's funny? The way he gave it to her, I was like, dang, he went hard at her. And maybe I'll have to wonder, was there a concerted effort to tone her down this season? Because the reason why she got booted last season was because she came in being team too much. So I wouldn't be surprised. Did you see Stacey's response to Jizzy getting gathered by Quad? Oh, I did. Ugh. Stacey, I'm sure Stacey was like, get her, whack her one more time for me. Hey, replay gang, appreciate you. Mm. I believe that people may view Heavenly and Toy a little differently by Heavenly being a professional. I'm not sure if that was the difference. A medical professional, possibly. Hey Richie, tell us more about the Bali trip. I want to go. Okay, so I am thinking about doing. All right, so let me just give you guys a bit of background. Y'all know I went to Bali. That was like one of my first group trips, and when we went, it was I didn't really realize it then, but it was such a spiritual experience. And so now that I have been, I know what to do now when I go back to make it even better. And the client sessions that I've been having, because I do work with people who have businesses and you want to grow on YouTube. Like this is specifically for people who have a business that they want to utilize to they want to utilize long form content to market their products and services. A lot of my sessions, my one-on-ones, I end up talking to people who end up needing a breakthrough, right? And so I was thinking about doing a breakthrough in Bali because I realized how many mental breakthroughs that I had while I was there. And I was like, yo, that would be so fun. And I feel like Bali has been calling my name. So I'm looking at like the end of September, early October to go back to Bali. This gives people some time to like put their money to the side. If you can do it on a payment plan. And I just need to figure out which travel group I'm going to use. So once I do that, then I will put out the Bali information. But Bali was completely life changing for me. So I definitely have to do that. CJ, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Chris, thank you, says, I must admit, Richie, your fruit speaks for you. Forget the haters. I love that you are clean and keep it real. I look for your alerts as soon as something airs. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that, y'all. I really do. Oh, y'all are the best. Y'all are really the best. Angela says, I think Heavenly tends to hit below the belt a lot more than Toya, and that's the difference. I love Stacey. She's fun. Queen B Moore says Bali is definitely on my bucket list. It's so beautiful, but I already have 3 milestone trips planned. First, that I must take with my mom and my kids. It's so important. Spending time with the fam. Spending time with the fam. Listen, I appreciate y'all. I don't know if you guys can hear my voice is going out just a little bit. So I need to go and do a little bit of like get some hot tea or something like that. But yeah. Yeah, let me tell y'all something. I love the red. I love the theme of wearable art. Like I've been obsessed with like Met Gala themes for like ages. I think if y'all know me, y'all know I love fashion in general. Um, so these looks to me, it was so much fun to think about, okay, what would like be worn at like a Met Gala type of look? You know what I'm saying? Like what would stand out to me. So that's why I did love, and I hated that I had to do that video. Like, I'm not even gonna tell y'all where I was filming that video, but I had to kind of do it. Like, I had to piecemeal that thing together some kind of way. And still, I wanted to make it good. I wanted to make, because I wasn't on camera. So I was like, what can make this video good and stand out? And so I kind of did like a little Met Gala, not really Met Gala, but like a wearable art intro. And then I went into all the looks. So hopefully, I look at the comments. Hopefully, I think people liked it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Have some tea and stay warm inside. Thank you for all that you do. I think I'm gonna actually take a break, grab some lunch, have some tea, and I need to put some salt on the driveway and on the sidewalks. So Shay says, watch Kenya's live and come back and report after you've rested. Health is wealth. Pray for the mentals that like to start discourse in the chats. Yeah, it's crazy. Nursing Nurse says, lots of love to you, Richie, from SoCal. Stay inside where you're safe and warm. Will do. Will do. I do want to put some salt down, though, because I just feel like if I need to run out or something like that, I want to be able to get out. And the driveway is just iced over. It's like, it's crazy. It's like a sheet of ice right now. And I salted the driveway and the sidewalks Saturday night. So the snow just came and it just like, that snow was like, whatever. Am I pronouncing it right? Lindria. Richie, will you or have you thought about doing in-person shows? I would love to attend and fellowship in person. Yes, I actually, me and Monique were supposed to do a show yesterday here in DC. As everybody knows, we had to cancel that because, like, the weather, um, that became a bit of a factor for us. But yeah, I mean, I would probably do something like small. Um, oh yeah, I saw. I mean, yeah, they did have everybody talking. Thank you for informing them about the theme. Yeah, the theme was super important. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I think if Bravo stated what the theme was blatantly for all of the reunions, I think that they would have made some things might have made more sense, right? Like it might have made more sense for what Phaedra wore if we knew that there was a specific theme that was involved. And so I think that if we're gonna do like these elevated themes, like let's state what the theme is. That's just me. Dang, 12 inches. Yeah, it was bad. It's pretty bad here too. Yeah, we had somebody come over and shovel it on Sunday. Wait, yesterday. But it's almost like you could tell that it was shoveled, but now it's just like a sheet of ice. So when I look at my neighbors, they got snow on top of it. But for us, it's just like a sheet of ice now, like a sheet of ice. So I need to go salt that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't even remember where I got this from. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I think it's all about timing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you kind of have to look at what the universe is telling you and say, okay, maybe April 26th will be better because it's like springtime. Oh my God, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's like you got to really understand exactly what the theme is so you can understand what the assignment is and who, just things might make a bit more sense when you have a better understanding of that. But it's also fashion, so that's what's also fun about it. Oh my God, where you at? 20 inches? Oh my God, I missed my time in Cali. Brag a little bit more. I mean, that's hard for me. I'm trying to learn that though. I'm trying to learn that. Well, I'm trying to tell y'all a bit more about what I do outside of this right here, with like coaching and like travel and stuff like that. So um I am in February going to be opening up some more spaces to work with some more people who are wanting to utilize YouTube for their business. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message. I am likely I'm thinking about I think I have space for maybe like 5 more people. I mean, I put a lot into like the sessions, so I think I could do 5. Mm, yeah, 5 for if I'm doing 4 times of 4. If I do like the full 4 weeks, I think I have time for 5. But if I just do like one off sessions, I probably have time for 10 to 12 might be ideal. Yeah. It depends on what kind of session you want. A bunch of ice in my part of Texas. My street is one big. Yeah, that's crazy. Mahoney Love says interested. All right, Mahoney, if you want to email me and then I can see exactly what it is that you need, and then I'll set you up with an amount long form content like YouTube in order to sell out. So like for instance, we sold out our Vietnam trip. So like that's kind of like a high ticket product. So if you're looking to, and that's the other thing too, is working with business owners to level up their pricing because there's some value in what you have to offer. So I work with you specifically to help you understand what that value is so that you can sort of break through that ceiling of what you think you should be charging. Because you have to tell yourself, I'm not cheap, but then you also have to let people know that, listen, you're not either. Right. So, and really to me, honestly, it's not about, we don't do all of this just for money. We do all of this to spread money around. And when you start thinking about your life in that way and your business in that way, that's how you understand that, okay, I'm not just building up my own wealth, but I'm building up the wealth of my community. And this is how I do it. So yeah, shoot me an email. Mm, Kathy slept in both bedrooms, like no big deal. Yep. I did. Yeah, we talked about it a bit yesterday in yesterday's live. Oh, thank you, Shay. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna check that out once I get off here. Wait, maybe we could look at it together. No, I can't play it on here.
They took their extensions out of their hair and they braided my hair, and I think it's so beautiful of us.
Wow.
So
Yeah. They did your hair with their hair?
yeah, they took the hair out of their hair. I'm in jail.
Yeah.
So they took their hair out of their hair.
Oh wow.
I love the woman that you've become. I never intended for you to see me like that, but I'm glad you did. Because there's a truth, and I was able to reach a few of them.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I gotta watch this when I'm done. That's gonna be good. That is going to be good. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be watching that. All right. Anyway, y'all, those are my thoughts on Potomac and Married to Medicine. Thank you guys for tuning in. I wanted to also go through some of your thoughts as well. I love the interaction in the comments. I love seeing your opinions. It helps me sort of remember always why I do this, because it's not just about me, it's also about you and having a place where we can all chat together and really like, did I see what I think I saw? You know, it's kind of like that. So yeah. With that being said, y'all know I love y'all. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you in the next video.